What's going on, everybody? It's AquaLeaderJesse back again with another Some Call Me Johnny reaction, and I just realized in the last one, I don't think I heard a smoke alarm going off. I don't know if I heard it in the Resident Evil 5 reaction either. So I think we might be past the smoke alarm days. But I'm pretty sure I have seen this one before, but probably only maybe once. But this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, and the Hyperstone Heist.
Pizza power! Growing up in a glass bowl with chameleons, lizards, and tadpoles, it hardly enters your mind that there's something better than this. A better sleep in a carrot, maybe a seed from the parrot. Believe me when I tell you the word gourmet just don't exist. But pizza power, a flying saucer food delight. Pizza power, oh that's what makes us feel alright.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, to be honest, I never really watched the cartoon a whole lot. I grew up more with the movies, which, with the exception of the third movie, were pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, same. I didn't really watch the cartoon. I watched the movies. These ones with the costumes, and then TMNT from like 2005, I think it was.
I enjoy watching them to this day, and
I also had the video game of that one.
it constantly reminds me of the good days of my childhood. Now, the Turtles have seen their share of games, particularly with the NES, but the one I'm going to review is none other than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo. Consider
This is a very beloved game.
one of the best beat-em-up games of all time. The game is based off the arcade game of the same name, which pits our heroes going against Shredder after Krang takes off with the Statue of Liberty.
Also, while we're on the subject of TMNT, who's excited for The Last Ronin? I'm not a big Turtles guy, but The Last Ronin being made by Platinum Games has me excited. I know that, with Kamiya not being there and everything, it has us a little concerned, but they were like half or more of the development team for Ninja Gaiden 4, and that was pretty good. So I'm pretty optimistic that they'll still be good. So I'm excited for that. Even though, again, I'm not a big Turtles guy.
What he planned on doing with it is beyond me, and it's never explained why he took it in the first place. But hey, anything that lets the Turtles beat the everlasting shit out of things is good enough for me. Of course, you can select one of the four Turtles, such as Leonardo, the most balanced of the bunch, Michelangelo, who hits hard but has slow combos, Donatello, who has the longest reach but slowest walking speed, and finally Raphael, who has the shortest range but is incredibly fast and my personal favorite.
Okay, as a kid, Michelangelo is my favorite, but as an adult, I think everybody can agree Raphael's the best one. Just story-wise, I don't think anyone competes.
You have an attack button which you can use to chain together attacks and deliver some of the most satisfying ass whooping you have ever experienced. And you have a jump button allowing you to dodge just about any projectile thrown at you. And that's it. Yes, besides the D-pad, you really only use two buttons on the entire controller. Some would call it simplicity, others would call it laziness. You can also perform mid-air attacks, which differ depending on how long you wait to perform the attack in mid-air. You also have a dash attack, which you can execute by hitting the attack button while dashing, which you can set to have your turtle do automatically, or by double tapping left or right if you have dash set to manual in the options screen. Finally, you also have a special attack, which you can perform by pressing the jump and attack button at the same time. It's a hard-hitting attack, but it costs some of your life when you connect with it. I'd recommend saving it for the bosses. Speaking of bosses, the game offers plenty of them. You'll face longtime villains such as Baxter Stockman, Metalhead, the Rat King, and many others as you progress through each stage. By the way, I love how just about every single boss explodes after defeating them. It would make sense for enemies such as Metalhead and Rat King's toy to explode, but why does Slash blow up? Regular enemies come in different flavors as well. There's many different foot soldiers which each come with a different weapon, stone warriors which are a little harder to kill but fun to beat regardless, roadkill Rodneys who are definitely my least favorite enemy in the game as they can be pretty annoying, and finally Mousers, definitely the easiest enemy in the game. You bitch. There's a total of 10 stages, each taking the turtles in different locations front and back through time. You'll stroll across alleyways, prehistoric caves, a pirate ship, a running train, and other areas with foot soldiers waiting to die. I cannot tell you how many times I've beaten and played this game. It's that fun. The controls are spot on, the sense of humor, while cheesy at times, can be pretty charming, and when you got a buddy or a brother to join you along, the game just becomes even greater. You can beat the shit out of bosses, be a jerk and hog up all the pizza, and use the power-ups prematurely to piss your partner off.
Honestly, how in the last video I mentioned that that I wanted an arcade cabinet and it would either be a fighting game or a beat 'em up. This is one of the ones I really had listed that I possibly want to use because both kids and adults are really into TMNT. So adults are usually into it out of nostalgia, I feel, but I think everybody at some point gets into Turtles.
Finally, the music is kick-ass. This is definitely my favorite TMNT soundtrack of all time. The upbeat rhythms and all-around catchiness fits the setting perfectly, and while technically the SNES soundtrack doesn't match up to the original arcade sound, it still sounds fantastic. But the SNES wasn't the only system to attain Turtle greatness. There was also a game for the Sega Genesis. Take it away, Elliot.
Like John said, the Sega Genesis also received a game known as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Hyperstone Heist. The plot is pretty much the same, minus the time traveling, and instead of Shredder taking the Statue of Liberty, he uses the Hyperstone to take Manhattan entirely, and then threatens to use it to conquer the entire world, and...
Holy hell, could you have made Shredder any more muscular? It looks like his shirt is painted on for Christ's sake. And why is his body so ripped but his finger looks so pudgy?
Anyway, because it's slightly based on Turtles in Time, gameplay is exactly as the same as the SNES counterpart. The only real difference is that the dash now has its own button, which is definitely a welcome addition because performing the dash on the Super Nintendo felt a little more awkward. The color palette is also a bit richer. The turtles definitely look a bit more vibrant in this version. The speed of the gameplay is also slightly faster,
Why does Don look brown?
so if you're into fast-paced turtle action, then Hyperstone Heist is your game. Musically speaking, it's all the music from the arcade game, and even with the Genesis sound chip, it still sounds spectacular. In fact, some will say that the Genesis soundtrack is a bit more faithful to the arcade game more than the SNES version. There aren't as many bosses in this version. It does have its exclusives like a human Baxter Stockman and Tatsu from the first and second movie, not to mention the level called the Gauntlet, which is a special boss rush level exclusive to this game. But I can't help but feel they could have added more bosses instead of having to fight color swaps of previous bosses. And why play in Rocksteady but not Bebop? In terms of stages, Hyperstone Heist
Oh, so you only fight one of them? You don't fight both? That's interesting.
has only about half the levels from the SNES counterpart, but the levels are certainly a lot longer, which kind of makes up for it. But even with longer stages, the game is incredibly short, beatable in less than an hour, and even less time when you have a buddy to tag along with.
Yeah, the SNES version is also pretty short as well. I think I forgot to mention that. Overall, both games are simply a blast to play. If you got a Super Nintendo, then do yourself a favor and get Turtles in Time.
Or if you got a Genesis, get the Hyperstone Heist. Both games are very fun and well worth your time. By the way, watch the movies. We're promoting them except the third one.
Piece of power, a flying saucer food delight. Piece of power.
Alright, well, up next, I guess, is Contra 1 through 4. But yeah, I haven't played Hyperstone Heist, but I have played Turtles in Time before, and Turtles in Time is really fun. It is a very fun beat 'em up. Excuse me. Yeah, I get to recommend from me as well. If anybody is into the Turtles, they should give it a shot. Though I guess Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has been having some good games recently, haven't they? I haven't played any of them, but was it I forget the name of it, but I feel like there was another beat 'em up TMNT game that came out somewhat recently, within the past couple of years. That was well received. But that being said, thank you everybody for watching. Remember to follow me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AquaLeaderJesse. All the gameplay videos are recorded there first, but they'll always be uploaded here afterwards. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.